Hi, the SI meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday, December 18th, 1 week to go to Christmas Day, and it's a very active weather pattern across much of the nation. It looks like that active weather pattern will continue right into next week as well. Multiple storms to talk about here. One storm will cause quite a snowstorm from around Denver to Green Bay in the Wednesday, Thursday time frame. That storm will swing a strong cold front through the Mid-Atlantic region Thursday night into early Friday, and that'll usher in quite a change for later Friday and the weekend in terms of temperatures as much colder air will finally move into the Mid-Atlantic region. Let's take a look at the latest surface map. We have one main system right here over the eastern Great Lakes. It's continuing to cause some heavy snow today in places like Maine, where they had several inches of snow yesterday. There's some rain a little bit closer to the low pressure center in this area. This is all pulling away now to the northeast. Again, more heavy snow in the northern part of New England, and it'll swing a weak cool front through the region here in the Mid-Atlantic area later on this morning. There can be a mix of clouds and sun this afternoon, maybe a shower, but rather mild conditions, especially for this time of the year. It'll get a little bit colder tonight as a little bit colder air moves in, but certainly nothing unusual for this time of the year. Meanwhile, another storm system is gathering strength here out west. This is the main storm system over the next few days as it'll develop, intensify, move to the east, and then take a track towards the upper part of the Midwest in a fashion like this. And there will be some heavy snow from this particular storm. First of all, later on tonight and tomorrow in this region right here. And then that'll just continue to expand to the north and east with the track of that low. It can be heavy snow, maybe a foot or more by the time Thursday rolls around in places like Madison to Milwaukee, along with 50-mile-per-hour winds later Thursday and Thursday night coming off of Lake Michigan and throughout the Great Lakes region and the upper part of the Midwest. That storm will then force a cold front to swing through the eastern part of the country Thursday night into early Friday, and that front will be accompanied by some heavy rain here in the Mid-Atlantic region Thursday night into early Friday. Well, here's a look at the current 500 millibar chart just to show how active this pattern is. All these yellow areas on here kind of represent upper level waves or upper level disturbances that can contribute to the development of surface storms here. There's just a whole bunch of them on the playing field. This makes it difficult for the models to get a good handle on things. But here's one area right here, a little trough right here, and that's contributing to this storm over the eastern part of the Great Lakes, which is causing some heavy snow today over Maine. Here's the next main wave, a nice sharp trough here developing here. That will set off this storm, surface storm over the Rockies. That'll then spill in over the Rockies here, and then spill into the plains, and then move towards the upper part of the Midwest by the time Thursday rolls around. Also notice upstream, another deep trough right here. This is just south of Alaska, and in fact there is it's starting to look like quite a strong storm in the offing for next week, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Well, let's take a look at a couple of GFS forecast maps for this next storm system Wednesday night and Thursday night. This is from last night's Zero-Z GFS model run. Again, this is the computer forecast map for tomorrow night, Wednesday night. At this time, this storm will have moved through the Rockies, causing some, maybe 3 to 6 inches of snow in Denver, for example, late tonight and tomorrow. And then it's going to start to take its turn and head towards the Midwest, and a track such as this snow is already beginning here by tomorrow evening across southern part of Wisconsin. Maybe a mixture at the onset in Chicago. They too should get some significant snow out of this after perhaps a changeover from a mixture at the onset. Once the storm reaches the Great Lakes, it'll really intensify, and winds will whip up behind it later Thursday and Thursday night. Here's, in fact, the GFS forecast map for Thursday evening. At this time, the storm really has intensified, sitting over the middle part of the Great Lakes. Quite a snowstorm raging here in places like southern Wisconsin, where the winds could be whipping at 40, 50 miles per hour. Probably Chicago at this time is snowing heavily with, again, 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Meanwhile, on its eastern side, a strong cold front is working its way to the east coast right about here. Heavy rain will move into the Mid-Atlantic region overnight Thursday night, and it's possible at the end of that system, once this front moves off the coast early Friday morning, there can be a brief changeover to snow. along the coastal regions or the Mid-Atlantic I-95 corridor, for example. Nothing significant, certainly, but colder air will pour in, and it'll be quite a different story on Friday as compared to today, for example, here in the Mid-Atlantic region, with much colder conditions and quite gusty winds Friday afternoon. And that'll continue right through the weekend. The weekend looks rather unsettled with windy and chilly conditions here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Well, let's just kind of take a little peek here at what the potential is for the middle of next week. These next couple of charts are from the Raleigh Weather website. This happens to be the operational European model run from last night's run, 0Z European operational run for next Wednesday night. And it has quite a powerful storm here with a lot of cold air on its backside here. And this storm is actually moving on the European operational run from the southern plains towards the Great Lakes, and that would produce warm air here in the east and most likely a rain event once again. However, there's a substantial difference between this operational European model run and the European ensembles, and let's take a look at that next. Here's in fact the European ensemble run compared to the operational European for the same time frame next Wednesday night. And in this case, it has the storm system taking a much more southern route. Instead of flying in towards the Great Lakes, it kind of takes a southern route and ends up redeveloping along the mid-Atlantic coastline, a much colder solution. So there's quite a battle going on even within the same model. Again, this is the European operational model run that generated a forecast map like this for the same time frame that its ensemble run generated something looking like this. The GFS actually is the same scenario here, with the operational GFS model run producing a Great Lakes storm, a warm solution here in the east, whereas the GFS ensembles has more of a colder solution with more of a southern route. Several days to work this one out. Again, this is talking about the middle of next week. So we have an active pattern continuing for not only the rest of this week, but next week as well. We'll continue to monitor all of that here at the SIweather.com. That's it for now. I'm the SI meteorologist, Paul Dorian.